Yo, check it out, I gotta speak the truth.
We are entering the crypto silly phase. The numbers are being thrown about. There's a bunch of articles that are talking about these ridiculous claims of $1 million Bitcoin already. This is post the Saylor announcement, or post the Saylor statement that I was talking about yesterday on the video. These are articles that are being released now talking about $1 million Bitcoin. There are whales that are buying, and Ethereum is pumping, so there's a lot of stuff happening, but none of it is going to be happening in Canada. Welcome back to the Crypto Father channel. Today is the 30th of April. In today's video, I'll be going over the news releases of what's happening. Canada has announced a new prime minister, quite possibly, so we're going to look at all of that. But first things first, we're looking at the market. As always, we're going to have a look at the market and then the Bitcoin charts and see where we're at. The crypto market is at $3 trillion. I think we've had a little bit of a retracement, 1.6%, backtracking, $80 billion in trading volume. Bitcoin is at $84,000. I did see it at $85,000 this morning. So it was at $85,000. It has retraced back down a little bit. We're going to look at the charts in just a second. Ethereum at 1,800. BNB 601, Solana $148, still not above, I think it was above $150, now it's retraced a little bit. Cardano 70 cents, doing very well. Sui 354, Chainlink 14. I never really talk about Chainlink because I don't know. Chainlink is regarded as one of the top cryptos. Of course, it's on place 14, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Chainlink apparently is doing in the background, which is why it's supposed to be one of the better ones. Avalanche, of course, 21. Toncoin at $3.22. Toncoin, I'm a little bit jaded with Toncoin, not per se Toncoin, but Telegram, more so than Toncoin, really. Litecoin, $86. Polkadot at $4.20. Picoin sliding down at 58 cents, continues while everything's pumping. Picoin is sliding down. And let's have a quick look at Meowcoin. Meowcoin is seeing a little bit of a pump. We're back up above $500,000 on the Meowcoin market cap, $539,000. On the Bitcoin chart, we hit 95,000, almost 96,000, $95,800 on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is staying above the $93,000 support on the Fibonacci retracement. On the daily charts, on the 1 hour charts, same story. We've got the 200 MA trading at the very bottom, and the 150 and 10 MAs are back on track on the 4 hour charts. On the daily, the 50 and the 10 MA are pushing hard towards the upper limit, so we're probably going to see a push for $97,000 here on Bitcoin, which is the resistance right now. And if we break above that, then we should have a clear sky all the way to 99,000, quite possibly, yeah, 100K. So Canada has chosen. Canada was complaining about the Trudeau prime ministership for years now, for months at least, because he wasn't doing a very good job. And yet somehow, for some strange reason, people of Canada have decided to choose another liberal leader. I mean, do you presume that the politics of a certain party will change because the face of that party changes? Not bloody likely. So I have no idea why that occurred. I am not in Canada, and personally, I don't really, well, I do care because I would like to move back to Canada, but this is one of the reasons why I haven't, because of all the bullshit that's been going on in Canada with all the wake movement and all that idiocy that has spewed over from the States apparently into Canadian schooling systems, and it's just disgusting. It's absolutely disturbing. So that's one of the reasons why I've chosen not to move back to Canada. I mean, maybe a minor reason. Of course, there are other reasons that hold me back, but it's weird. I find it strange. And quite honestly, I am politically autistic, and so not very opinionated on the pros and the cons. But I mean, like I said, people, you've been complaining about one liberal leader and then have replaced him with another liberal leader. The party is the same. It's the same people with a different face. Nothing's going to change. The only thing that's going to happen is probably going to get worse a lot faster. And this has been confirmed by a number of sources on the internet, including Jordan Peterson, who is very outspoken about this. He made a good 10-minute video, as well as other people on YouTube. So I have no idea. But Carney, whose name is just Carney, it's such a creepy sounding name. It is. It's makes me think of like a carnival clown. I don't know. It's not a good sounding name. Any case, this guy is anti-Bitcoin. So whatever policies are happening to crypto and Bitcoin, Canada is not going to get any of it. Canada will remain in the dark ages for a very long time. In the meantime, you've got this Muppet head, Daily Huddle, is talking about $200 trillion Bitcoin market cap. So this is the market cap that I was talking about yesterday, which indicates or suggests that Bitcoin would be sitting at $1 million per Bitcoin. And again, remember that the global money supply is presently sitting at $129 trillion. And so these Muppet heads talking about $200 trillion market cap for Bitcoin alone must have been dropped on their heads as babies, because what the frick? Blockstream chief executive Adam Back has a huge prediction for Bitcoin market cap. Back says on the social media platform X, just make sure that I'm not goofing up. So this is 1,000 million billion trillion, $200 trillion. It is. Let's just double check quickly. I was Googling Trudeau. How much is the money, the global money supply? The global money supply as of early 2025 estimated to be around $123 trillion. Okay, so this is the accurate estimate according to Google search. And these Muppet heads, this particular one, the Blockstream chief executive Adam Back, is supporting the idea that Bitcoin market cap will go to $200 trillion. Fuck me. They call themselves the business intelligence firm. Strategy and other companies employing Bitcoin treasury policy are an arbitrage of the dislocation between the Bitcoin future and today's fiat world. A sustainable and scalable 100 to 200 trillion trade front running hyper Bitcoinization, scalable enough for most big listed companies to move to Bitcoin treasury. Back argues a strategy involving the flagship crypto is a logical and sustainable arbitrage. So this, my dear friends, is a clear sign of the crypto silly time that we're entering, okay? Because you've got these numbers, these ridiculous numbers being thrown about. Nasdaq to list 21 shares Dogecoin ETF on SEC approval. Apparently that's happening. This guy, John Kojo Kumi, is reporting quite often on CoinCo. No idea what CoinCo is, no idea who Kojo is. Nasdaq has filed with the SEC to list and trade the 21-share Dogecoin ETF. The ETF will track the Doge USD index through CF benchmark managed by 21 Shares US LLC. If that were to come to pass, obviously what happened to the Bitcoin ETFs, there was a delayed pump. And so you would expect a similar thing to happen to Dogecoin. We'd probably see a delayed pump on Dogecoin if this was to be listed, or I guess when it's going to be listed, because presumably this is passing, and so that's going to happen. Corporate Bitcoin holdings surge by over 100,000 Bitcoin in single month. So understand that corporate entities are snatching up Bitcoin left and right. People are left in the dark. People have been left in the dark for a very long time. Big banks, JP Morgan, BlackRock, all these jokers were shunning. They were saying how bad Bitcoin is and this and that, and they were waiting for the right time. They were waiting to accumulate their own cash so they would have enough to start buying up Bitcoin left and right, while the people are left in the dust, confused because they don't know what the frick is going on. You've got BlackRock and JP Morgan and all these jokers saying that Bitcoin is bad and you should never touch it. And now all of a sudden they switch tunes, and all the while they were buying Bitcoin behind the scenes while they were dissing it, while they were telling people not to buy Bitcoin. They were stacking up Bitcoin probably for very low prices. And so now the public is left with $100,000 Bitcoin. I think the $74,000 that we saw recently was the last chance to buy it in this bull run. Right now, the energy cost to produce one Bitcoin is $50,000. So obviously it differs. It varies how much it costs to mine one Bitcoin depending on where you live. And here's an interesting map. How much electricity is needed to mine 1 Bitcoin? Ireland is in one of the shittiest places in the world. It takes something like $300,000 to mine 1 Bitcoin in Ireland. Switzerland, it costs $236,000 in Switzerland to mine 1 Bitcoin. $228,000 to mine 1 Bitcoin in the Czech Republic. Cayman Islands, you've got here. So the cheapest one, from what it seems, is Ethiopia, $1,990. So the African nations, that's where you should be mining. If you want to set up Bitcoin mining operations, head over to Ethiopia, head over to Sudan. Those are the two places, although I don't know Sudan, how friendly Sudanese people may be. But I assume it would be pretty difficult to get a hold of electricity in Ethiopia, as well as Bhutan. Bhutan, look at that, $9,000 to produce 1 Bitcoin in Bhutan. And Bhutan is racking up big time. So it's costing them peanuts and they're making millions. Kyrgyzstan is also $8,000. Uzbekistan, all the remote places, it's cheap to produce. Iran, $1,000 to produce 1 Bitcoin. I wonder what the electricity costs are. Or what the electricity availability is like in Iran. But so that's pretty interesting. Asia leads the way in mining Bitcoin profits, while Europe faces sky-high costs. Asia continues to dominate the profitability landscape for Bitcoin mining. More than 20 countries in Asia offer favorable conditions for miners. Even after the fourth halving, miners across Asia are still seeing high returns on their investment. Not in Korea so much. What is it in Korea? $86,000. Okay, so that's pretty average. So it's still not too bad compared to some of the other places, I guess. Syria would be another place to go. $3,000 to produce 1 Bitcoin. Not too bad. The worst one, I think, is Ireland. Look at this. Number 1 ranking. $321,000 to produce 1 Bitcoin in Ireland. Then you've got Belgium, Bahamas, UK, Germany, Cayman Islands, Denmark, Switzerland, Czech Republic, and Cyprus are the most expensive ones. And the cheapest ones are Iran, Ethiopia, Sudan, Syria, Cuba, Libya, Angola, Kyrgyzstan, Nigeria, Bhutan. Most of them I would probably not visit, like Iran, Sudan, Syria, Libya, and even Angola. Kyrgyzstan, Nigeria, and Bhutan is hard to get into. But so, I mean, the places with the cheapest mining cost obviously are the places that are questionable in terms of travel, and of course setting up businesses would probably be just as tricky. Former Representative Patrick McHenry predicts a wicked hot summer for crypto legislation. It's go time for digital asset policy, said former Rep Patrick McHenry. Lawmakers come back from their respective states after a 2-week-long recess and could hit the ground running to pass bills to regulate stablecoins and another focused on market structure. He's predicting a very hot summer as lawmakers quickly try to get bills to President Donald Trump by August. So we're looking at possibly some major changes before August. Both leaders on Capitol Hill and leaders in the White House want to put laws in place for digital assets, McHenry said Tuesday. Holy cow, these articles are so redundantly written. I mean, they're repeating the same thing like 3 times in a row. This is ridiculous. I kid you not. This guy said it here, and then he said it here, and then he said it, I think, over here as well. Like, it's the same thing over and over again. And then here again, the mention that the Senate is going to planning to vote on stablecoin legislation on Memorial Day. So pathetic. Who's writing these articles? Like, these are just space fillers. Ridiculous. The block? Horrible. Don't listen to it. Don't read it. Whales buying the dip. Ethereum price predicts turns ultra bullish after 9 billion surge. The Ethereum price has risen by 1.5% in the last 24 hours, reaching 1,800. Trading volume spiked to $15.9 billion, having stood at only $9 billion a couple of days ago. CoinShares is reporting $3.4 billion inflows last week, the third largest on record as invests seek alternative safe havens. Bitcoin was the main focus with inflows of 3.18 billion last week, followed by Ethereum with 183 million. Solana was the only altcoin to see outflows last week, totaling US 5.7 million. And Tether Treasury mints 1 billion USDT twice, transfers 100 million to Bitfinex, and total $2 billion minted in 15 minutes. This happened on April 28th and 29th, which was just yesterday. And this was sent out to unknown wallets totaling over 269 million USDT. On April 29th, another 1 billion USDT was minted, with reported amounts ranging around 1,335,000. Additionally, 1 million USDT was transferred from the treasury to Bitfinex. Combined, a total of approximately 2 billion USDT was minted within about 15 minutes on April 29th, which means more crypto purchases happening on Bitfinex, quite possibly. So we're probably going to see some jumps on Bitfinex, hopefully in Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else, I presume. Don't forget that institutional investors are snapping up Bitcoin. BlackRock right now holds 598,000 Bitcoin, not dollars, Bitcoin. This is more than Strategy Michael Saylor, who is an independent individual and has been gunning for the purchases for Bitcoin and advocating for Bitcoin for years now, basically. And BlackRock just stepped in, I think this year or last year, sometime mid-through, and decided to start throwing their muscles away, their cash around, and dropped $56 billion on 598,000 Bitcoin. So this is a lot more, or a little bit more than Michael Saylor's shares is holding. And so understand that institutions are snapping up Bitcoin and snapping up crypto while they were telling you at the same time that they will never invest, that it's tulips, that it's garbage, that it's crap. They were lying to you, people. And so this is where we're at right now. Bitcoin, we had a chance to buy Bitcoin at $4,000 when all of these institutions were laughing at us. They were laughing at people. And in the background, they were snapping up Bitcoin, of course. And now that Bitcoin is skyrocketing in price, they are offering you what they stole from you, essentially. I would say, like, don't even buy BitShares. Don't buy ETFs. Fuck ETFs. Buy Bitcoin outright, buy crypto outright, and hold it in your wallets. Because every time you buy ETFs, you give them your money because you pay for all of that, right? Unbelievable. The world is turning upside down. Ray Dalio released a quick introduction to his new book, which is coming up, and he's talking about the changes that are coming in our world, financial changes, economic changes. And he talked about it in his books in the past, and now it seems to be coming to fruition. The world is going tipsy-turvy, upside down. Snap up your Bitcoin and secure your crypto, because if you don't, somebody else will take it. Make sure to hit that like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, share the content with everybody else, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support, and see you next time. Peace.